Come on now, bro. All these pound-for-pound fighters are too scared to fight me. They need $200 million to do it.
I got $200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake.
You fighting the best fighter in the world. You better be taking it serious. You know, that goes to show, you know, how serious he's taking me and how much.
Terence Crawford has completely flipped his stance on Jake Paul's place in boxing. Once a fierce critic, he's now open to stepping into the ring with a YouTuber-turned-fighter if the timing and terms line up. Reports suggest that with Gervonta "Tank" Davis possibly stepping aside, Crawford could become the next big name linked to Paul. And this time, he's not denying the opportunity. Not long ago, Crawford dismissed Jake Paul as nothing more than a social media act invading a sacred sport. He felt Paul was skipping the struggle every real fighter endures, the early mornings, broken noses, and years of sacrifice that build a champion. To Crawford, Jake symbolized everything wrong with modern boxing: fame over foundation, entertainment over respect. He had even compared Jake's rise to a circus show, mocking how the sport was being turned into a spectacle. But now, as the numbers grow and the attention skyrockets, Crawford seems to recognize a new kind of fight, one that pays just as much as it tests pride. The tune has changed, and so has the opportunity.
They can punch with that, right? I mean, like, I seen, you know what I mean, up close in person. Like, dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there's times where, you know, him and Tyson was in the ring.
But now, Crawford has taken a step back and softened his stance. The tone has shifted, and a trace of respect is beginning to show. During his appearance on Logan Paul's podcast, Crawford openly admitted that he had misjudged Jake. He confessed, "Yes, he's boxing. At first, I was against it. I was like, man, this dude and his brother are just using their YouTube fame to walk into boxing and make millions, while real fighters spend their lives grinding and still earn a fraction of that." Crawford explained that he once viewed the Paul brothers as outsiders exploiting a sport built on sweat, pain, and legacy. To him, it felt disrespectful, a shortcut through years of dedication. But hearing him now, there's a noticeable shift. The same man who once called Jake Paul bad for boxing now acknowledges his effort, his consistency, and, above all, his legitimate place in the ring.
Because check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, this gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happens when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You know, you start.
According to Crawford, his change of heart came after witnessing Jake Paul's commitment firsthand. He didn't just see an influencer playing boxer. He saw someone genuinely dedicating himself to the craft. Crawford explained, "After watching him and seeing the seriousness he's putting into training, I was like, this dude is actually getting better." Coming from Crawford, that's not casual praise. He's a perfectionist, an undefeated technician known for dissecting opponents with precision and focus. For a man of his standards to admit that Jake Paul's progress impressed him speaks volumes. Crawford isn't calling Jake an elite fighter yet, but he's acknowledging that the dedication is real. The discipline, the hours in the gym, the sharpness in his fundamentals, it's no longer a joke to him. What once looked like a publicity stunt has started to resemble a real pursuit, and that recognition from Crawford carries weight.
What happened? Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, "Oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting." No. You have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN.
Crawford saw the proof with his own eyes when he traveled to Puerto Rico, where Jake Paul faced Ryan Borland. That night, Jake delivered a clean, decisive knockout, and Crawford, who was attending a convention nearby, watched closely. Recalling the moment, he said, "I was sitting there thinking, this dude can really hit with his right hand." It was a moment that shifted his perception. Sure, Jake wasn't fighting a top-tier opponent, but Crawford recognized the importance of progress. Every boxer starts somewhere, and for Jake, this was part of his climb, learning, improving, and taking the necessary steps like any other fighter building towards something bigger.
Out of like the influencer world would be the most lucrative thing for my career, and I think I was the only one who like actually wanted to do it, and actually wanted to go all the way, and that's why I set the goal for myself early to become world champion. Set the bar extremely high, and
Crawford has now admitted that he sees Jake Paul in a different light. He's realized Jake isn't trying to skip the line or pretend he's ready for giants like Usyk or Canelo overnight. Instead, Jake's taking the proper route, facing opponents that match his current level and getting sharper with every fight. "A lot of people just want Jake Paul to fight Alexander Usyk," Crawford said. "But no, you've got to work your way up." That's when the respect really kicked in. Watching Jake live gave Crawford a whole new perspective. For a man who once rolled his eyes at Jake's name, that's a massive shift. Now, Crawford isn't just acknowledging him, he's open to stepping into the same ring. And with Gervonta Davis potentially out of the Jake Paul matchup, that opportunity suddenly looks real and within reach.
Kidnapping, all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. If this is true, I just talk about just fumbling the bag. One of the biggest financial opportunities of his career, and he's about to ruin it. It's being reported that Jake's team is offering Ryan Garcia as a replacement for a December fight.
When the news of Jake Paul versus Tank Davis first broke, even Crawford called it crazy, and he wasn't wrong. Jake weighs around 200 pounds, while Tank barely tips the scale at 135. The size difference is insane, yet Jake didn't flinch. In a Netflix interview, he admitted, "Yeah, it's a crazy fight. Two of America's biggest names going head-to-head. His skill and experience make it 50-50, but my size is the equalizer." Classic Jake, confident, fearless, and always selling the show. But then came the twist no one expected. When asked if he'd fight Terence Crawford, Jake didn't hesitate for a second. "I would for sure fight Crawford. Let's run it." That answer flipped the script entirely. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Tank. Crawford, an undefeated champion with a flawless 42-0 record, became the new name on everyone's lips. The idea sounds wild, but from a business perspective, it's pure gold. Crawford brings legacy and credibility. Jake brings hype, reach, and massive pay-per-view numbers. Together, they could break records and rewrite the narrative of modern boxing. But that's not all. Behind the scenes, chaos brews. Gervonta Davis faces legal trouble, and Jake's team is already scanning for replacements, with names like Anthony Joshua, Ryan Garcia, and even Francis Ngannou floating around. The most shocking revelation? Talks between Jake's team and Joshua's camp are real. Eddie Hearn confirmed discussions have taken place, and Joshua's response was simple and cold: "Just let me know where and when." It's not hype anymore, it's possibility. Joshua's a two-time heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, and one of boxing's biggest global stars. Jake's still the outsider, but that's his edge. He thrives on doubt, turning the impossible into headlines. As of now, the Tank fight hangs by a thread. If it collapses, the next chapter could feature anyone from Joshua to Crawford, maybe even Diaz or Ngannou. Each path is dangerous, unpredictable, and insanely profitable. That's exactly how Jake Paul likes it: loud, risky, and impossible to ignore. So what do you think? Should Jake face Crawford, Joshua, or someone else? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the latest fight updates and shocking boxing twists.